Welcome to the AggroCast. It's episode 55. It is day one at CES. I'm your host, Brian Bentley, and with me, as always, is Binh. Wow. And joining us this evening in place of Mike is our managing editor, David Becker.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm in place of Mike. I'm not hosting it. I'm just here as a fill-in because you don't have him here.
You're
but
joining us.
I am joining you guys on this great podcast.
And you let us stay at your house, so.
Yeah, so we kind of felt obligated. Okay. We're like, we're going to go do this podcast. I guess you can come join us or something.
I see. So if it wasn't my house, I'm out of luck.
Yeah, you'd be out.
Okay.
You'd be out.
And Corey, if he was here, he would probably be in.
Yeah, Corey.
Yeah, you'd be out. Corey be in.
Yeah.
That's how it'd go.
I see how it is. I'd be banging on the door. Hey!
Is something going on in there?
Don't make me turn off the internet.
But yeah, first day of CES. We're here in Las Vegas, and I don't know, guys. I mean, it's been we kind of have a wild day, a little bit going on. A lot of stuff has been announced so far. And what do you guys feel like has been the single biggest thing for you guys so far today?
Totally, the Sesame Street USBs.
Oh, God.
Yeah. No, I'm joking. Actually. One of the coolest things we saw was at the Razer booth. Mm-hmm. We went over there and they had a new fully wireless headset for both the PC and the Xbox. It works for both of them. You only have to buy one of them. The only thing that was kind of weird with it was because of Xbox's proprietary thing on the headphone. You have to plug into the controller so you can actually use any kind of TeamSpeak or anything like that over Xbox Live. But on PC, the guy was kind of certain and iffy if it would work without all wireless.
So pretty much he didn't know.
He didn't know, but it's a whole headset that's 5.1 Dolby surround sound with noise cancellation, all that stuff. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, it was pretty slick. And they even have, they had it built so that it would, specifically one of the big things for them was that you could sit on your head for a long time, and it was built so that it wouldn't put pressure on your ears, that it was specific to not do that. So that you could play it for a long time.
At least that's a better headset than what I had to experience when you guys were doing that. we'll talk about that later, but...
And I guess the other cool thing to mention about that is actually they're trying to price point it to where it'll actually undercut Triton and a bunch of the really big named companies
like SteelSeries and all them.
Well, right now it comes with a charger and a wireless broadcasting thing and the headphone and all that stuff for $129, I think is what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said they were going to try for.
And it's the 5.1 Dolby surround sound. It was one of the
noise cancellation and all that. Hey, for that price, I'm sold.
Yeah, it's going to be worth it, definitely.
And then the other big thing I guess would be also at the Razer thing with the Sixth Sense.
God, that was beautiful.
You want to take that one?
I guess my thing was the Tegrea chip that we saw at the Nvidia press conference, Ben and I. And honestly, if they can really get this in the number of tablets that basically these tablet PCs were probably about 10 inches by 6 inches. That's what he said the screen was.
Yeah, the screen wise
was 10 by 6, and honestly, if they can get it, because the way they kind of positioned it was that it basically just has electricity. It doesn't heat up. It doesn't need to be cooled down, and the chip itself is probably 3 by 3 inches square.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he was holding it up like this in front of the screen, and you guys can't obviously see.
He was holding up a 3 by 3 inch finger proportion.
Yeah. So hold a 3 by 3 in your hand like that, and that's what I'm doing right now.
No, but the one cool thing is that it doesn't require too much energy. It pretty much runs like a cell phone. Right. It powers just like a cell phone. So you have this tablet PC. You get to surf the web or whatever you like to do and all that stuff, and it doesn't require that much power to run it.
Right. So basically, it's running at a smartphone's power, but it's 10 times more powerful.
And faster.
Yeah. I mean, if it really does work, and I think it's something we're definitely going to have to search out in the next couple of days, because they listed a few different companies that are making tablets to do this, but if we can go and check this out, I mean, if it really runs like they're showing it, they're demonstrating it now, things are going to definitely be changing. There's just no doubt about it.
Oh, definitely. It'll. I don't think people will be carrying laptops anymore. They will be carrying a tablet for sure. The only thing I'm going to be worried about is the applications that are going to be coming out for it. Right. I mean, the one tablet that we were running was they were using Android. So I want to see what kind of applications are going to coming out for it. If they're going to have like some sort of Word.
Well, did they say what kind of operating system they were going to run on it? Because like I know they have Windows Mobile and all that stuff.
They were a little
vague about that because
they didn't know.
Pretty much,
it seems to be
the theme of today is
sure.
we didn't know, but
and yes, there's quotes around that.
Yeah, definitely, but no, they ran it off. One of them was on Android.
Was definitely on Android for sure.
So I want to
see the Google branding on the thing.
It was smeared all over it.
But I mean, they dragged out. Well, they dragged out. I mean, it sounded like they forced him onto the stage. But Tim Sweeney from Epic Games came on stage, and he didn't want to be like pushed into a particular card name, but he basically said it would have been top of the line card, say 3 or 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was the graphics. They were running the Unreal Engine on it right then. It was pretty impressive.
Oh no, it wasn't just like here's a video clip. He literally picked up the tablet and like, look, this is what it's running at, and you saw
running right now,
and you saw all the movement on the tablet.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
How was he controlling it?
Like, well, no. They had someone playing it, and they had it fed into like the big screen, so everyone's like, okay, yeah, it's a nice demonstration. And he goes, yeah, by the way, it's running right now, and he held it up like the actual tablet that it was actually running on.
Okay, well, I mean, like, was he sitting there? Was somebody sitting there controlling it?
We were up in the rafters, so we didn't really see. We basically
because that's one thing I could see that could harm the tablet is most people are used to keyboard and mouse.
Exactly,
and obviously, they don't really have a good option for that on a tablet. So
yeah.
Well, like I said, we don't know. It's still in development right now. Nvidia claim is the year of the tablet evolution.
Yeah.
So we'll see what it's gonna bring, but I liked it. Same thing with Nvidia. They came out with the 3D monitors and video cards and all that stuff, and we tried it out at we went to the Nvidia booth first and got a sneak peek before the actual press conference, but. Putting on the goggles itself and just seeing how it works, playing Need for Speed Shift on it, it felt like you were right there driving the car.
And even just as an observer, you felt sucked in because you were you were so immersed in the experience. Like even when Binh, like I could totally tell Binh was going to goof off and just drive into the wall because we had to go, and like the guy's like, no, wait. And like other people who were watching got into it, like him driving.
Oh wow!
I mean, it was really amazing. I'm like, I warned everyone. I'm like, I'm gonna run to the wall. I gotta go. I'm running right to the wall, and the guys were like, no, and just boom. And I took off my glasses and just walked out. It was, but we went through some of the other areas in the Nvidia area. There were goggles where you put on, it would just flicker.
Yeah.
Flicker.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was just like, after a while, you took them off and you're like,
yeah, seriously.
Oh.
Man. Wow.
And it was just...
That's a little much.
It was a little much. And then it just got to a thing because, remember when we were first watching it and I put my bottle in front of the emitter and you were having difficulty with it.
Right.
But I was fine.
I needed a line of sight.
And so when we moved the bottle, he was fine.
Yeah.
So they
needed a line of sight.
Yeah. Wow. I'm not sure if it's still in work in progress or not, but we'll definitely see how that's going to go.
Yeah. And how is it being powered is another question.
Yeah.
How are the glasses?
The glass is being powered because the only thing we can theorize right now is being run like wash batteries.
Well, that's what when I looked at that last year a little bit at Comic-Con. They were showing that off with Resident Evil a lot, and they have a little tiny lithium battery in the back ends of the eyeglasses, and you actually have to plug them into a little USB or whatever to charge them up.
Oh, okay.
And they have it well hidden, so you can't see it all that well. So it looks like you're just wearing a pair of goofy 3D glasses, but.
And that's another thing that Ben and I talked about when we were walking out. It's like, am I just gonna have to like wear these stupid glasses for everything I do now? Like when I want to watch TV, do I have to wear a stupid pair of glasses? If I want to play video games, do I have to wear a stupid pair of glasses? Like,
well, people wear their Gunner optic glasses, but
well, yeah, I like my Gunner, so.
Well, there you go. You're wearing glasses anyways.
Yeah, but if I'm going to sit down and watch TV with my fiance, I'm just going to take them off.
Well, actually,
I don't wear them.
That was something I was going to say we should probably check out tomorrow. Is some of those TVs, like the Samsung and all that stuff. They actually, one of their big things they wanted to push is actually full 3D television where you didn't have to wear the glasses.
Oh, see, okay, no, that's something we should look into.
Yeah, but definitely. Of course, we didn't get to the center hall that much except for crossing through. But
yeah.
Now we're getting ahead of ourselves. That's tomorrow or
that's
the next podcast we do.
Whole nother thing. But Binh, so the 3D vision technology, is that kind of what your big thing was then?
That's my big thing. I'm really interested how future games are going to be. If it's going to be all 3D or it's going to be depending on the company. Oh, this company will have it in 3D. Maybe the lower companies may not. So it's just depending on who will have it and who won't. It's definitely going to be really interesting and whatnot.
So, like Binh said about the line of sight for the glasses, something that we saw today that didn't have a line of sight problem was Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Which is they just partnered up with Razer about a week ago, and we kind of got a pretty good long tech demo from them about how to, including so David was sort of with the more technical side. They were actually showing kind of like how the SDK worked. I sort of stepped over with the actual guy who they had actually put it into Left 4 Dead 2. They went to Valve, sat with them, put some code in there so that it would work. And so I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Basically what it is, it sort of is like two wands, really, is what it is.
One of the questions I asked was, because it almost looks quite similar to what the Sony's doing with their motion controller, but apparently they had their patent and all that stuff going like a year before Sony even thought about it. But pretty much if you have that kind of head, except for the weird glowing balls on the end, that's kind of what it looks like. But there are like two remote controls you have it, and they have the little straps like you have on the Wiimote and all that. And they use magnetic technology where you have like a small tower where he had it set off to the side. But I asked the guy we talked to, what was his name, like Jeff or something like that?
Yeah, I feel bad now. I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
Sean. Jeff, whatever.
Sorry if you're listening. But I asked him if how it positions itself or whatever. For instance, the tower, and he's like, "Oh, you could set the tower anywhere you want since it's not line of sight. It's anywhere within a 6 foot radius.
Yeah, 6 foot radius.
It'll, as long as you sync up to it from where your wands are supposed to be at, it'll do a perfect 1-to-1 down to a millimeter.
Wow. Yeah, it was some ridiculous.
And then there's no acceleration or anything like that when you're actually swinging the wands around. And you can actually stab with it for all you people who have the Wii Motion Plus out there. That's a big thing to think about.
Yeah, definitely. It was really awesome. I mean, like basically the guy at the Left 4 Dead 2, he pulls out a katana, and I mean, he's just flicking it back and forth, and the katana is actually moving with his hand movements as he's rotating, or he had the shotgun out, a flick of the wrist and it reloads. And I even talked to him about, especially a lot of people complain about waggle and Wii stuff, waggling for waggle's sake. And he was like, oh yeah, no, we're definitely gonna be moving past that. He's like, if it's gonna be, if it's gonna be good and it's gonna be worth it, we're gonna put it in there. He's like, we're just not gonna make you shake your wrists or whatever just because. So it was awesome.
So everything that we've seen so far, does it give you guys a clear indication that we're not going to see a new console within the next couple of years?
Well, I can't really say that because we haven't gone to the big names. We haven't been over to Microsoft or Sony and actually done anything. But I mean, I see PC gaming's getting a few things that are kind of along the lines, but as we all know, there's definitely a difference between a PC gamer and a console gamer.
We all know that.
So I mean, I don't think I depending on how Natal and the motion controls come out for the PS3, that might just push back when they're going to do a new console. I mean, the PS3 is moving up to almost 6 years or 4 years now, I think is how old it is, and which means the Xbox is 6 years now, or 360 at least. So I mean, they're getting to that point where it's going to be time to update a new system, but I think they're trying to push all the other peripherals. Cause like when we went to the PS party tonight, even their developers are like, yeah, we've even barely scratched what the PS3 is actually capable of. And I'm sure Xbox, once they get Natal out there, it's going to open up a whole new world of things for the Xbox to use. So I think they still have some longevity left. So I think maybe 2 years they'll probably start talking about
getting things. But no, I don't. Yeah, but I agree on. I mean, it's 2 years is when they start talking about it. It won't be for 2 years after that.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be a 10-year life cycle, I think, for this generation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I'm really glad, because it's just like we've seen how the 360 and the PS3 is. The Wii, they're doing their own thing. And
the Wii, for what it is definitely the console. It's a family console.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's not for hardcore gamers. Yeah, there's some games on there for hardcore gamers, but it really comes down to it's the social gaming system. And yes, I know, you can go online and talk to people with live, and if you want to try the PSN, but the Wii, actually, you get your friends over more to sit around and play those, whereas all the rest of them are all about online gaming. So, I mean, they have their niches.
They do.
Is the overview I was trying
to And I think a perfect example of this is right as we walked in. I mean, basically there was the body glove booth, and a woman who was going to be a demonstrator who hadn't even played the game yet. They had like Surf's Up on the Wii, so some totally kids game. We put Binh's picks up the other controllers, and they're just playing, and they're both having a blast. Neither of them have played the game before. She's never played. It doesn't even seem like she's ever played a video game before, and the two of them are just having fun. I mean, and that's what it's about. Even though the game was kind of stupid, and Binh kept running himself into.
I kept on crashing. I'm like, what the heck? Each time I go land, boom, iceberg right in front of me. I'm like, that sucks. But Brian sort of put me out there. He was like, oh yeah, just letting you know, Binh's a gamer. And I'm like, great. Now, and I'll try not to make her feel bad, because she was only 400 points behind me. Yeah. And then after that, I'm like, crap. So I had to crank it up. By the end, she was 4,000 points, and I was up to 7,000 points.
Yeah, and then then we try to make Binh feel bad about killing her. But no, I mean, the point being, still, she had a great time.
Yeah, she had fun.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's for. But you're right. I mean, that is what it's for.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
So even though that was a tangent, don't discount the Wii.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, it is what it is. And a paperweight, but
Oh. Come on, New Super Mario Brothers Wii. You had fun with it.
Okay, the game is freaking hard, but I love the game. The game is sweet though. Everything. No, you're right though. Everything that you've said that you played on all the other ones, like Super Mario World 64 and all that, all the 3D stuff. Yeah, you use that, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
So now we've gone off topic.
Yeah, we definitely did.
Do we want to cover
CES 2010?
I guess, do you guys see anything? Because you guys were there longer than I was. Do you guys see anything that kind of you're like, why the hell would you want to do that?
No. The one coolest thing right before everything started, we were looking through the CES magazine, and the one thing that I saw that I'm like, I cannot believe this company is making it. I flipped the book over. I'm like, Brian, look at this. They're making a sniper rifle for the Wii.
That's awesome. I mean, why would they do that?
No,
That's horrible.
No, but they didn't just make just for the Wii. They made one also for the PS3.
Awesome. I mean, horrible. Why would you want to train kids how to be snipers to kill people and watchtowers and stuff?
David, shut up. You're fired.
You can't fire me. You're fired for not laughing at my humor.
I am laughing at your humor,
but you're just sitting there like, why would someone need to do this? And they even but don't worry, there are different, ways of setting it up. It's good, so that kids know how to break down their sniper rifle and put it back in the box.
That's even better. I mean, horrible.
Before they head out.
No, but the company was making more than just that. They had weights for the Wii. They had
the dumbbell things that they.
No, they had the dumbbells. They had a push-up for the Wii board, and they had a lot of interesting. They had a basketball, football,
and football, because.
So it's essentially they're a peripheral building company.
But it was just the cool thing that first thing in the morning I'm sitting there looking through it to see what's cool, and I'm flipping to this whole page and looking. I'm like, why would they make a football, basketball? Oh my God, they're making a sniper rifle!
I'll be honest, I'd buy it. Yeah. Not that I have any games on the. Well, maybe Dead Space would be kind of cool with a sniper rifle.
No, here's my thing, and I want to go to that company tomorrow, and I want to ask them this: if you guys release this, I want you guys to release this game. I want them to release Silent Scope.
Yeah.
That would. They have it on the PS3.
Well, I know,
but they'd have to revamp it.
Exactly.
But still, I can see that's why. I mean, when they came out with the SNES, the weird bazooka-looking gun, what was the point of that?
Well, you played one game in it, but that game was still pretty cool, though.
Yeah. So that's kind of the way you got to look at it.
See, I've always said that Nintendo needed to do this. They need to bring that bazooka back and leave like a little hole, leave the top part where you can fit your Wii controller in, and then so that way you can use it that way.
But screw the sniper rifle.
Yeah.
You want a bazooka, but not a sniper rifle.
I still want the sniper rifle, but I wanted the Wii to have that from the beginning to have something like that.
Understandable. It's just like when they came out with Zelda and they gave you a little plastic sword you can swing around on the.
Oh yeah, the sword and the shield.
And the shield.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The nunchuck. Yeah, that was great. Never had that.
No.
But no, other than that, there were some things that I don't know. The one company that I went to was Psycho Audio, and this is the same time where Brian and David went to
we were
Razer.
looking at the awesomeness at Razer.
So I had an appointment with Psycho Audio, and I went over there. They had a 5.1 speaker, a headset and whatnot, and I put it on and the demonstration was pretty much the music, the game, and they're showing me the new product for the 360. It was pretty much the same product. It's just that it was for the 360. So I put it on. I'm listening to it. And they give you like this little box, and it shows you where the music is coming from and whatnot. Nice little light indicators. And I've noticed like some static to it. I'm like, okay. I'm thinking that maybe it's just not plugged in correctly or whatever. No, the static was still there. It kept on going. There was no. And I could hear everything. I could hear the music and everything around me.
So there was no noise cancellation?
No, there was no noise cancellation.
On headphones that are designed for gamers.
So, yeah, exactly. And the one weird part is now I'm listening to the music, I'm watching the little indicator, and I notice a little sticker that says Best of CES 2009.
Wow.
And I'm thinking in my head, and I'm like, how was this Best of CES?
Maybe they just stole the sticker from.
You know what? I don't know, but
because who's gonna fact check that? They're looking at everything else.
But I was talking to the CEO and the CEO of the company, and I asked him, "Is there going to be any noise cancellation for this? Are you guys going to fix the static problem with this?" The guy didn't know. And they released the product like 2 months ago. And they already have issues with the microphone being flimsy, because all you do is just plug it in just like a jack. You plug it in, and I just see the thing just flimsy around like this. And they said
he's doing a little waggle with his finger.
A little waggle with my finger. But he said that in March they're supposed to release one where it just stays on there. I'm like, but you didn't realize the flaw of the design to begin with. And I have no idea how this was Best of 2009.
Right. Whereas the Razer headset we saw, it actually, like when it folds up, it actually ends up flush with the entire rest of the headset. So
yeah, so you don't have to even worry about it falling off, breaking, or anything like that. As long as you
or bothering
fold it
you,
up,
unless you want to use it, you just fold it up. You never notice it.
So keep an ear out for that. What were the name? I don't even remember.
Psycho Audio.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't
Best
bad.
of 2009.
They
Worst of 2010.
They weren't bad, but I'm hoping that maybe they'll fix the issue when they release their
whatever
their new edition,
their new version in March. But we'll see, though. I don't know.
We did spend some time today with Triton headsets and saw their lineup. Then we saw their entire line. I don't know. I'm like, the problem is as much as I enjoyed the actual time we spent there, with the headsets, and they're actually very nice, and I really liked a lot of the stuff they showed, and stay tuned to the website because I know that Binh took video, so we're gonna We're going to be putting that up. But really,
watching a few epic fails from Brian and David.
Dude, the Dark Void demo.
That is
it was horrible.
Their controls do not match what actually goes on. I don't know if that's something on Triton's end or if that's something Capcom put in there, but apparently you can't fly.
Yeah.
In a game where you're supposed to fly.
Like I clicked the button. Well, first of all, I couldn't figure out how to turn the backpack. I'm like, I see the backpack. I know what it's supposed to do, but I can't make it work. I'm like, David, figure it out.
Yeah, so he hands me the controller, and I'm sitting there like, I'm just going to do this the easy way. I look at the controller configuration, look at it, memorize it, go back, and I do exactly what the configuration tells, and I plummet to my death.
And I have it on video. But anyways, back to Brian's story.
So that's really what I remember of all the things I really remember. Now we met up with Aaron there. He must have been like a major like he made their senior product manager or something because he was able to, with the exception of some of the stuff we were asking him that was, probably breaking some kind of NDA. He had all the answers. But they're coming out with a wireless headset that I was actually pretty impressed with because it's something that I could totally, I could hook it into my PC. Have the wireless headset, move downstairs, hook it up to my PS3, and have the exact same wireless headset.
You're getting the pink one, right?
Oh yeah, the pink one.
Yeah, They had some sticky things to put on them.
I don't remember that seeing. They were just talking about the wireless one, right? Because I don't remember.
No,
we all the ones were wired.
No, it's in the works.
Yeah, they said they were going to try to have a prototype. They just didn't have it in time for CES, but PAX East. So I know you're trying to go to PAX East, Binh. Maybe you'll probably be able to report on it then.
Hopefully I'll meet up with them again and be like, hey, you remember me?
They're like, oh, that guy.
Yeah.
You.
Considering we scared away the first guy.
Yeah.
Oh no,
that was my fault.
That was David's fault.
I just stood there, honestly.
And he first glance at David, I'm like, yeah, I'll be back. 15 minutes later, I'm like, yeah, I'm still trying to contact, and he just runs off to like another direction.
No, what ended up happening is we asked a question. He's like, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about that. Walked away.
That was
and didn't
Brian's
even
fault.
stop to tell us. He just kept walking and said, yeah, I got something else I got to do. Talk to that lady, and she'll get you another person to take you around.
Like, okay.
And that was the end of that.
We haven't even started, and we already scared the guy away.
Yeah. Well, I think what scared him is he might have had to have been on video because he's like, are you guys gonna be like taping this audio or whatever? And we're like, we can.
We weren't planning on it, but I had my camera with me. I'm like, we can.
He's like, I gotta talk to some people.
So in the end, actually, it's Binh who scared him away. Yeah. He's like, I can totally videotape you.
Pull this right out. Click, click. Up close. But no, I mean, I thought it was a really good. I thought it was a really good meeting, and if that wireless thing, if it works out pretty well.
Yeah, outside of the game demos, actually everything that played there was really good. Like Modern Warfare sounded amazing. Even though I was wearing my stylish pink headset twisted back a little bit so I didn't mess up the Dukes. It takes 4 minutes in the morning to do this.
Yeah, both 4 minutes. As opposed to where I just map my head down like that, smash on it. It works out. One thing we did see right after that was really cool was Lego Universe.
Oh, Lego Universe? That looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to be leaving. I don't think anyone's going to be leaving World of Warcraft for this, but I think
it was enjoyable.
But I think the segment that they're going to end up going for is going to make all the difference. I think they're going to really hit a good. I think they're going to hit a good
It's a good beginner MMO for people that never played one before.
It's exactly like what Lego Rock Band was for Rock Band. If you're just getting started in it, it's a great way to ease yourself into it. And it actually looked like they had a lot of really cool customized things and all sorts of missions and all that stuff. And you can actually build your own stuff, all that.
Right. So like the stuff you collect while you're questing, you can eventually go back to your the place where you quote unquote live, and you'll be able to build it any way you want with the blocks that you've created and the items that you collected, the loot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not nowhere up near World of Warcraft or D&D Online Champions or anything like that.
But it's really basic. It plays really similar. Quests are really easy. They're all within the area, and
it has all of the Lego humor that we're all accustomed to.
Oh yeah, what was it? You saw one where the guy tried to get your attention, and he took off his other arm and rose it even higher just to get your attention.
Yeah, so he can give you a quest.
Yeah.
I think something that's really good, and I think like you said, it was definitely going to be like a person's first MMO, but it's not. It's all like skill and loot based, and has like there's no leveling involved. I think they're kind of missing out on maybe some of the voice chat functions. I understand like they're very conscious of the younger generation playing with possible older generational playing.
Well, yeah, he even mentioned that as pretty much if you're old enough to actually know how to put on Skype and all that stuff,
right, you'd be able to use it. But so I think there is a slight miss there, but I totally understand why they did it. But it's definitely going to be a gateway drug where after if kids are 6, 7, 8 or whatever and they're playing this, they'll eventually want to graduate to something where they'll already understand it, they'll be initiated into it, and they're going to jump into it.
Yeah, exactly.
That, and we all got to build our own Lego people.
Yeah, that also helped. They had little
real
bins.
world Lego people as well.
Yeah, so that was actually cool.
Brian the porn star.
Yeah, I have a little porn star mustache and a little 70s hair going on. It's it's pretty slick.
My guy has glasses, a beanie, an orange jacket, and black pants.
There you go.
Yeah, swap out a black jacket for that orange jacket. That's what I got. you had to copy me, huh?
No, you copied me. I did mine first.
Dude, I was done before you.
I was done.
Well, of course, what you don't realize is that all three of us went backwards. We started at the hat section and then went to the legs, like down the row. So it was like hats, heads, bodies, and legs. And I'm like, afterwards, I'm like, we probably should have started with the legs and then got a body and then done that way, but now whatever. By that point, we started a trend because there was like 10 people after us that were all doing the same thing wrong. It was great.
I mean, it was a great spot to start from because you had the aisleway where it was, and then you can go right to it.
Oh yeah, so. I'm not saying they didn't do it wrong in the first. I'm not saying
we did it wrong in the first place.
Yeah.
And we just had a bunch of sheep following us.
That's right. But one thing I did like about it was the different. It wasn't exactly classes, but they kind of had like these factions. They called them.
Oh, it wasn't really. It was it seemed like more of a job skill. Like they had the warrior types, the builders, the healer types, and then the dark magic users. As he stole the term from me.
Yeah, and he was kind of like trying to be a little vague about it, like if people kind of was like, everybody's really good guy. Some people were here, we're not really sure what they are, but we're sure they're doing good things. Yeah, right.
I'm sure it's going to sit there and borderline whether or not you're raising the dead and slaughtering everybody. And
right, yeah. Are you helping the bad guys or the good guys? We're not really sure.
Well, that's the one thing, like, I remember because I was pretty much forced to jump onto playing Lego's Universe, but the one thing Brian was like, go attack him! And it wasn't PvP, but they did mention that it will be PvP based.
Yeah, it just wasn't active here, but it was great to watch him run around with a spear and try to spear other Lego people.
Hey, I tried my best.
But one thing I definitely liked was that they did have some grouping that they wanted to do. So it was like if you had a builder class guy that was running around trying to like build turrets or whatever they had sort of placed throughout the world, you could have your warrior types and your magic users protect the guy actually doing the building. So there was actually a team component to it, which was kind of nice. So
pretty much.
But yeah, so that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was. Still gonna try to go get some of those shirts that they had. 'Cause everybody had a different faction shirt on from the game, and
yeah, they were actually pretty sweet. I actually wanted one myself. I actually want whatever. I want to see what the fourth kind, like the healer.
That was the guy in the green shirt next to us. That
yeah.
Was, even though it had a skull on it, that was apparently the healer type.
That was the healer type.
Oh, good, because skulls say healing.
Exactly.
Nothing says healing like skulls.
No. Yeah.
Where have you lived?
Yeah. I was wondering. I always feel the same way about the caduceus, like two snakes. Like, what does that mean healing? Come on, seriously.
But after roaming the hallways in the convention center, we went to the Sony Mag Party.
Yeah.
And had fun. Tried out the beta. And after getting through the glitches and whatnot,
well, you gotta start it out right. We all showed up, had a drink or two, then we went over and started playing the beta, where there was a major glitch that we kept getting respawned back to where we were, even though we were killing other people. Or climbing a ladder. That was the best one. You climbed up the ladder, you spawned over somewhere else, but still could climb the ladder, and then you spawned back to the roof of the building you were climbing.
Yeah. My personal favorite was when I saw a guy running on the other team. I'm like, awesome. So I jumped down and I'm like running after him and I'm shooting him. And I'm shooting him and I'm shooting him. Then the screen let me know that he killed me. And then I died.
But we continued further, and we actually grabbed one of the technical supervisors for the game, and he came over and set everything back up. Apparently it's a glitch, and the beta we're playing is actually an old version of the beta, because the game is supposed to launch on the 26th of the month here, and after resetting it, I don't think there was any more glitches or anything like that.
No.
It ran fine.
And then, because he was a little tipsy, he definitely spilled a little more beans than I'm sure he wanted to.
Yeah, but it was great.
Yeah.
That was awesome. No, talking to him was great.
And we talked to him for like 45 minutes, just asking all sorts of technical questions, like why they chose.
You guys were just watching him just die.
We were watching Binh get tooled in the beta.
Well, after it was really great. Just so you know, when he was done, I think he had 5 kills and like 26 deaths.
Pretty much.
I
mean, my only beef with it is I can understand though, but I thought the graphics was a bit dated. But maybe I'm not sure if it was just that TV, because I looked around everywhere else, it looked amazing.
Well, here's the thing, and we were actually talking to the guy while you were playing. That TV wasn't calibrated to 100%, but still the graphics look a little low end. Part of that is it's still an early beta.
Well, yeah.
That we were playing, as well as you have 256 people you have to work for, because they're not doing a peer-to-peer network. They're doing a server-based network. So they have to render for everybody. Everything changes, so they can't really go, uncharted graphics.
Well, yeah.
But they also assured us that the graphics we saw in that game were also because it was an early beta, and they've updated all that for the actual gold launch that they have coming up here.
It also just didn't help that we were on like a 46-inch television, and we were 2 feet from it playing.
Yeah.
So, I think that might have something to do with it. I'm thinking if we were 8 feet away, it would have been a much different story. But
we were drinking too, so
that also
that's true.
may
the only one who got drunk though was Brian.
I was. I admit I was a little tipsy before.
He was laying on the floor, tipsy.
I was there. I was on the floor because I was letting you guys sit in the chairs.
That's his excuse.
Oh. Hey, once we got some dinner, I was.
That's true.
Much,
you
much
sobered
better.
right back up.
It was, but yeah, no. I mean, well, it started out like it was like 20% gin, 80% Sprite, and then all of a sudden like that number, that amount, the proportions switched by the end of the night, and that was
as is custom at any open bar.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Sony. Open bars are awesome.
Yeah, we appreciated it. No, really, we did.
Yeah, I was that guy where it's like, yeah, I'll take a Sam Adams, and the bartender looks down, try to look around, see if there's any Sam Adams. So you have to get out of the bar and to the other side to grab some and then come back. I'm like, David's like, you got to be that guy, right? I'm like, I'm always that guy.
I met some crazy guy who I don't even know how he got in there. Somebody like his friend, and I don't know, but he ended up picking up my drink now, and he's like, oh, thanks for the drink, and then he chatted my ear off for about a good 3 to 5 minutes.
Me and David pretty much laughed to take a table, and we looked back, and you're still there. We're like, all right.
Yeah, we actually had one of the bussers come by and clear our table twice before you came over to the table.
He was a great guy though.
Speaking of talking to people, me and Brian we went back to the press room, and we had lunch, and so we're having lunch, and all of a sudden, this one reporter was started talking to Brian or whatever, and I noticed that his bag said ABC News Radio. So I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool, talking to someone from there. And then the guy asked Brian if he listens to the radio, because Brian, he saw that Brian was from Cincinnati. If he heard, what was the station? Big one.
It's called The One.
The One or something like that. So he asked Brian, do you listen to The One? And Brian goes, yeah, I don't listen to the radio. I just turn on the device. Because your definition of listen to the radio is...
Well, I'm like, I take the podcast that I've been listening to, I put them on my jump drive, and my USB, cord in my car, and then it just starts playing, my podcast.
So later on, once he found that Brian didn't listen to the radio, he goes, oh, how could you schmuck?
Yeah.
And at that moment, I just died laughing, and I told the guy, I'm just from the Detroit metro area, and then he pulls out, I'm like, he's from Novi, Michigan. Novi, Michigan is about 20 minutes away from my house.
Nice.
So we're going to send you over there and beat him up for calling him a schmuck.
No, actually we're not going to do that. I'm going to email him so he can send me this pin. The reason this whole conversation started was he had a pin that said, "Hey, I don't remember your name either."
And we thought that pin was freaking awesome.
Like, I want one of those pins. Where'd you get him? He's like, I made them. I'm like, that's fantastic.
But it was really interesting because the guy knew the founder of CES.
Yeah, Jack Wyman.
Yeah. He knew him personally and whatnot. He even yelled, "Hey Jack, like where's so and so?" And he goes, "He's in there." I'm like, "Well, get him out."
Yeah,
and it was like, oh my god.
He said he was like 88 years old. He's like still sharp as a tack. Yeah. He's like, I just like walking the halls with him. I'm like, that guy I'm sure has a few stories to tell you about.
I literally probably want to look up his name and have lunch or something and just hear the different stories that he has.
It'd be amazing.
Because we were like talking, like he was like, yeah, all the morning show has just gone like one of the morning shows I listened to. This is all talk radio, by the way. Mm-hmm. It's Dembski and Doyle, and one of the hosts from another talk show at 97.1, Jay Towers. He left that station, so it's like all the morning shows that I listen to now is like gone, and I'm like, well, that sucks because I have nothing to listen to in the morning. I just pretty much have to wait until 10 o'clock when other shows gets on.
Or you can do what Brian does and get all of your podcasts.
And put in a device?
Yeah, exactly. Put them in a device.
Quote-unquote device.
And just listen to them.
Well, that's what I have it home for.
I was going to call it a radio, then I was like, well, I can't use the term he's using because he's using a very narrow definition. So I guess I got to call it something else. My audio, like car audio entertainment center. I mean, if I really wanted to be.
That's a good ring to it.
Yeah.
Patent pending. I guess back to the Sony party, since we kind of tangented off on that.
Is that where we were?
Yeah, that's where we were at.
Nice.
What were your other thoughts you guys had about that? I know I've gone to some of the other Sony parties with Andy and Corey and all that stuff to other locations. I'm just kind of curious to get what your guys' opinions are on that.
I was actually kind of surprised. I thought it'd be a lot busier there. I thought it'd be. I mean, they had a large sized room, but
it was very low key.
Yeah, it was. It was very low key. People were just hanging out and playing the game, and I thought that was great. And I'll save my actual thoughts on Mag for a second. But what else do you guys think about it?
I thought it was great. Not that many people were around. We got to actually chit chat with other people and whatnot. So it was pretty cool. I liked it a lot.
See, the ones I went to I went with Andy, and that was kind of a nightclub bar scene they had. So it was really loud. You couldn't hear anybody, and they were showing off Fat Princess. And so everybody's talking really loud. Me and Andy sitting next to each other, we had issues hearing each other. And then when I went to the one at Comic-Con they had for, I don't even remember what, they were just showing off all their new games. It was actually a lot like this party, but it was smaller. The room size was smaller, so it was more cramped. So it seemed like there was more people there. And I'd say there's probably the same amount of people there tonight that there was at the Comic-Con one. It was just because they had a huge ballroom they had it in. I mean, it took over, two rooms? Two rooms,
yeah.
Yeah, and they had 50 consoles set up for the mag stuff and all that, and a huge bar and hors d'oeuvre thing and all that. So it's actually more spread out, but the one thing I really liked about it was they didn't exclude anybody, where in the past it was mainly press. This one, there was a guy that was just a student came in there. I'm sure the guy you knew had no.
Yeah. I don't know what his affiliation was.
He was wearing a USC jersey, so.
And the other big thing is, for the first time ever at one of these things, I've actually had the PR people come over and actually have the time and the ability to sit there and talk to people and actually answer questions and stuff like that.
It felt a little more personal than in anything else. So
yeah, it also might have helped. We were there. It was over an hour later than it started.
Yeah.
So it's very possible because I know they were saying the first 100 people got.
Well, when we got there, they still had 50 more slots left for people. So what he's speaking of is the first 100 people that showed up at the party tonight are actually getting a full retail copy of the game MAG when it actually launches. So not to brag or anything, but
I think what happened was because we had a difficult time trying to find a place to begin with.
Yeah.
So there was like no signs or anything like that. So I think people just didn't know where it was.
The hotel they held it in has only been open for a little over a month.
Oh,
okay.
So like it opened up December 16th.
Okay.
So I mean that's all new. Even like for us, like I'm a local here and I got lost because it's been there for a month. Wow. So.
But yeah, I mean it was really nice there. Actually.
Yeah, it was.
But what about the game itself? I mean, what did you guys think? I mean, like, now, considering all the glitches and whatever. I mean, overall, what are your impressions of what it's going to happen?
Well, I didn't get a chance to actually play it because I was talking to all the PR people and all that stuff. But from what I was able to see and all the guy that technical director was able to tell us, I'm actually, if the game is successful, I think this will start bringing Sony back up to at least for network gaming, to about the ranks of Xbox Live, because Xbox Live can't host a party system like MAG is doing. I mean, it's 256 players and all that, and if they do it successfully, I think that's going to gain more attention to the PSN, because I mean, on top of that, that's all free. Right. Whereas Xbox, it's phenomenal, but you still got to pay $60 a year to play it. So that was really cool. The other thing was how he kept bringing up the different classes. It's kind of interesting how he's got the commanders, he's got the grunts, he's got the medics, and the way everybody's been playing the beta so far, almost runs kind of like how a military unit would. Is you got the people who want to be commanders, and they're really good at that. Then you got the people, like he was saying, how he wants to be just infantry, and he does that, and he's good at that. And you have the medics that come over and res people before they actually bleed out. So those kind of aspects to it were kind of cool. Not a big person of the first-person shooter type games, but it actually looks like it could be a pretty decent one, especially for online play and team play.
Definitely. No, I mean, it was something where I don't even really like console shooters, but even I was having fun, just going through. I mean, even when I was having the glitchy problems, I mean, it was still fun to drop in, and try to, because there were like objectives to do, like as far as like either defending or blowing stuff up, or it was you had checkpoints,
commander telling you to go do stuff too,
right? And getting I think if it wasn't so loud and we had like headsets or something where we could be able to hear more of what was going on, I think that would make a big difference. But I like just the setup it had, and the squad based stuff I think makes a big difference, because you actually start caring about the other 7 guys, the other 7 men or women that are in your squad with you.
I looked at it while I was playing it. I was like, I thought it was just one big giant Team Fortress 2, except that you didn't have any pyros, any grenaders, or any engineers to build anything. But there are repair people to repair the artillery, the turrets or whatnot, but they're not building any for them to place any time. But that's what I felt like, because you can switch to any class you want. Brian saw me switch to a sniper, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't know that."
Yeah.
But I was just toying around to see what the different option was and whatnot, and I was like, click, click, click. I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I became a sniper. I became the medic, and tried to res people, but wasn't really too successful in that one either. So.
You're not a very good medic, noted.
No, but that's what I felt like. Maybe I think the controls was a little too sluggish, but again, it's beta. They'll improve in that when it released. So, but I enjoyed it. Yeah. I liked it. I can't wait to get it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like after seeing what we saw at E3, I was kind of a little skeptical about, like, not only just the number of players, but more, kind of how it looked and how it looked like it played, and I was kind of like, I don't know. After putting hands on at this point, I'm actually looking forward to the end of the month and giving it a go.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So.
That could be look like something interesting if it works well for maybe a Pwn night game or something like that. Actually revitalize the PS3 gaming nights.
Right.
Well, especially when you have that many people on the field and whatnot, and the party. He mentioned that you can form your own party and join in one game. You don't have to worry about
invites
whatever.
or anything.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
and if you have 8 people for, in your party, you could join as a squad, like 8-person all together, one squad. As long as someone's a squad leader,
exactly,
you get going. So, I think it's a lot more promising, at least, going into this last few weeks, if they can do some of the cleanup and like he said, they have a huge live team. So if there is some balance issues or whatever, he's like, we're going to be on it. We're going to be, fixing it up.
Oh yeah, he was talking about one of the things he added in there for the beta or whatever was the proximity listening.
Oh,
so you could send a spy over there, and it'll actually pick up another team's voice conversation, and then that person can relay that back. So you can actually send in a scout or a spy and listen to what the other team is having tactics, like, hey, let's go over to the left side of the canyon or whatever to ambush these guys. He can report that back, and then your squad can set up to count as long as they don't catch your spy and all that stuff. But which is that's another really cool feature that I don't think that's been in anything, has it?
No, I don't think so. No.
Well, there's the spy in Team Fortress 2, but nothing to that degree where you infiltrate the other team, spy on what they're doing, and relay it back to your commander.
Yeah.
And so your commander's like, all right, you go over there and defend that area.
Right.
Because it even though you get to do nearly whatever you want to listen to your commander or what's going on around you. You can't wander off and do whatever you own because you can't. If you go and do that, you're going to find another group of like 5 to 6, and they're going to mow you down.
Right.
Yeah, and he's also talking about the leveling system they have in it. You'll gain more XP if you actually work in a squad.
Yeah, it's almost like a modern warfare type.
Yeah.
You get more guns.
Or if you're supposed to be defending an outpost or whatever, you'll actually earn more XP killing people than you would being a lone wolf just out in the field somewhere, because you're actually trying to work towards your squad's objective or your entire platoon. I don't know what is
squad.
I don't know.
No, squad. Command.
Something.
We're not
company.
Company. There you go.
There you go. Your entire company.
We're back already? Oh wait, no.
I don't know. Well, I was making stuff up as I go along. So what do we have? All right, so we're almost to an hour. So let's just we just wrap it up for tonight.
That's perfectly fine.
Tomorrow we got day 2. I know I got a couple meetings, and one that we're definitely looking forward to is Capcom. Maybe we can actually have them explain to us how Dark Void works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Maybe show us so we can actually try to make it work. I don't know.
We're going back to Triton, and we're going to show it off.
We're going to be those guys. Yeah, but we definitely have that tomorrow. So we're
I'm
going
to check out the that guitar.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, definitely.
The U-Rock guitar.
Yeah. It looked cool. They had a kind of a douchebaggy looking guy playing it when we went there. But
oh yeah.
I was supposed to actually meet up with the CEO of the company. And
he looked like he was stuck in a time warp.
Yeah, he was like 50s and 70s and 80s all mixed into one, playing the national anthem.
Yeah, and it was not even good. Like, it wasn't even good. Yeah, I thought the duck was dying, maybe. But yeah, it's sort of like this. If Elvis was not dead, I mean, maybe he isn't. I don't know how you feel about that, but if he wasn't dead and he decided to get a flock of seagulls haircut,
that was the guy.
That was the guy.
But sitting there watching him, though, you definitely got to see how it swapped from being a normal guitar and swapping in and playing Guitar Hero. So I'm actually
the one thing I noticed was that the color buttons was on the top, but you didn't have the buttons. You still had the fret that you could put your fingers on. So I thought it was interesting. I'm like, I want to get my hand on it, play Guitar Hero, and see how that works.
Well, maybe swing along with me tomorrow. I'm gonna check out the song. But now we're going back to a whole other topic. We're trying to wrap this up.
But tomorrow, day 2, we're probably not gonna be recording. But day 3, Saturday, we will. So we'll have both day 2 and day 3 when we record next time. So,
all right. So I guess that wraps it up for tonight. We want to thank you for listening tonight, and definitely pay attention to us on Twitter. I know I've been tweeting a bunch of things. So if you want to catch me on Twitter, I am Quiglin. David here is the real Hades.
That's right.
That's all letters, right? There's
That's
no numbers.
all letters.
Okay, so just all one word, the real Hades. And of course, Binh, you can catch him at Church 4252. All right, so that's it for tonight, guys. So we'll check you guys next time. So
night.
Damn you cell phones! Turn them off during pressers.
Yeah, no, that was horrible. But anyway, peace.